And then we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want to make the common man get waiting suppose get for this country. And I never hear something. Now go hear one. My ego, you go show na paper. My ego diary political. So my people make you shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary political, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Ha, this one na day of in mind. Oh yo yo. My ego don't come.
Hello there.
I
ran into a troubled water, technologically. But I think that's us back. Tell me, how is the audio? Let's start with that.
Glory Facebook, glory YouTube.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live. And to those of you who have already joined, please share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them Mayegun is here. Mayegun today.
Godfather is in. Kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun diary. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ ṣẹ́ o kẹ́gọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu. Mayegun diary. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì í. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube.
Thank you. Mayegun today. Please read the caption of the broadcast, okay? Read the description as well as you are sharing and liking as well. Meanwhile, for the record, Nigeria is going to war in Niger Republic, despite the Nigerian Senate rejecting Tinubu's request. Today, ECOWAS, at a meeting called by Tinubu in Abuja, they have now authorized the military invasion of Niger Republic. Ogun today.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Ayé ẹ̀sùn láti. Mayegun ti dé. Òkúra olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí. Ayé ẹ̀sùn láti. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ayé ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé.
So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live. For those of you who have been following the development in Niger Republic, ECOWAS, France, America, and all other things going on that people call the distraction that Tinubu needs right now to claim legitimacy. From who? At what cost? Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon, which is the Thursday, the 10th of August. Sorry to those of you who are going to watch replay, by the way. The ECOWAS met in Abuja, Nigeria, where they initially said they were going to, open up a diplomatic channel where they can resolve this without resorting to military invasion of another country. Okay, but in what seemed to be a sort of a stretch of a contrast to that same position few days ago, things have now risen to 100 degrees, which means the bombs, the shootings, and all of that could start this evening. Tifnumbu wrote the Nigeria Senate after at first declaring war on Niger Republic, cutting off their electricity, right? And then cutting off trade with them, including transactions that exist between the two neighbors. And afterward, he wrote the Senate for their approval. In his letter, he said they need to go and restore democracy in Niger Republic. Now, restoring democracy in Niger Republic using the military invasion in this essence, right? Quite not really appealing, except for those who have not been following. Why should you invade them when you can actually have that chat with them if it's about democracy? But obviously, it's not just democracy. You know that. And I'm not going to bore you with that because things have now gone beyond explaining the elementary now, okay? So at this point, countries have taken positions, okay? There are countries who are ready or who have already mobilized for this in Niger Republic. And as it stands, when the Nigerian Senate responded, they said they should choose peaceful means. The northern senators who felt happy that they used their power to shut down Tifnumbu, a lot of them are currently watching the news. They are probably right now confused, but they shouldn't be, because yes, you shut down the Senate approval, which is the constitutional way of getting Nigeria involved. And if Nigeria is going to get involved in this, mind you, initially they said they don't need the Nigeria Senate. He knew that he actually needed them, right, to give him that approval. Now, what they are now banking on after that rejection is that Shebi Nigeria signed a treaty, ECOWAS treaty, that Nigeria has to be part of that ECOWAS mission. But what Tifnumbu and those around him, God knows what they are thinking, is they didn't know is that for any Nigerian soldiers to participate in any mission outside Nigeria, whether it is for war or for peace, they will still need the permission of the National Assembly. So Tifnumbu is biting more than you can chew, but that would be if you have institutions to checkmate him. Right now is the Lord of the Manor. So what they are doing right now is that in that same Abuja, they came together today, and it was like a carrot and stick, okay? So the carrot is, if they are open for diplomatic conversation, we'll give it to them. If they don't want that, we also have the stick. We'll whip them to line. We have everything to actually like whip them to line. So Nigeria is going into it like we have everything to crush Niger Republic if it leads to that, constitutionally or unconstitutionally. In this case, unconstitutionally. Nigerians actually rejected the Nigerians' involvement because Nigeria right now, you can say, is at different wars. Okay, so a lot of people believe that rather than involved militarily in Niger, right, Nigeria should pursue diplomatic means and concentrate back home on the problems back home. Unfortunately, Kolu has kind of breached all that. Now, what they are doing is that they have now authorized the defense chiefs for all these West African states that are participating. They are Ghana, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Benin Republic, who else? There's about 8 of them that are kind of going to present their soldiers for this mission. Yesterday, there was a rumor that After Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, the former emir of Kano, met, okay, let's slow it down a bit. 3 days ago, in their carrot and stick approach, they sent Abdusalami Abubakar and Sultan of Sokoto to go and meet with the junta. And we don't know, like, what's their plan or something, but they were never met. They stood them up for 5 hours and they returned back to Nigeria, disappointed, right? But yesterday, there was this image everywhere, and it was that of Sanusi, the former emir of Kano. He met with the head of the junta in Niamey. And for some reason, we believe it was also sent by these northern leaders or northern Nigerian owners or Tifnumbu, or combination of all of them. So he met with them and he came back smiling, more or less like he was telling journalists then that the situation is now under control, okay? That the junta has appointed their prime minister and they have also appointed other cabinet positions, 21 of them, which simply means that now they can actually talk to them about transitioning. You know what I mean? But the demand of France on Nigeria is that the former president, or the one that they arrested, must be returned to power before any negotiation or conversation can take place. So some people are now wondering, what kind of compromise do the West have on Tifnumbu that a supposed Nigerian who has existed in Nigerian politics for a while, right, would actually play so dumb into their hands that it didn't even give a damn of wherever this leads to between Nigeria and Niger. Like, generally, it doesn't give a damn. Like, how much of compromise do they have on him that will make him ignore even the Senate of his country? An impeachable offense. Ordinarily, Tifnumbu is asking the Nigerian Senate to remove him for violating the Nigerian constitution and leading Nigeria into a war that was not authorized. So how much compromise could they have on him? And how much rotting are we talking about the institutions in Nigeria? Like, how rotten, how much rot are we actually talking about? That Tifnumbu is so audacious to go ahead with this, right? So when Sanusi came back, people felt like maybe the rebels that said that they were going to take on the coupists, the junta, the CRR, or whatever they are called, that we initially felt would lead to an internal crisis or a civil war, right? Now that the ECOWAS has taken a 360 sort of a U-turn, and they are now ordering their soldiers to invade Niger Republic. Now, I'll take you through that. The coupists themselves, they seems to kind of had a clue of what was coming. Sorry, this wasn't sort of subtitled. I can manage to tell you what he's saying. And if you understand French, you can also help us do some mouthful subtitling in there, okay? Right. Few days ago, or should I say yesterday, the junta themselves, right, they made an announcement that their citizens should get ready to defend the country, that they know that an invasion or attack was imminent and it's still going to happen. Now with this ECOWAS, obviously, you can imagine what this is going to be, right? Not yet. Don't worry. Let's go listen to what Tifnumbu told the ECOWAS today first. Or should I first show you what Sanusi told the press when he came back from Niamey yesterday? And this is so important to them in the north, by the way. Just so you know, for those who understand the crooked politics of Nigeria, you know what this simply means, right? Okay. Now, Nigeria want to go into Niger with the promise that they are not going to fight any war. They are just going in there, arrest those guys, okay? And then return the former president, return him back to power, and then they will leave. It's just like a clinical surgery. They said they want to do a clinical operation That is what Nigeria, Otifnumbu and his allies, that is what they envisioned, okay? Walk straight into Niger, go straight to the capital, arrested these guys and all of their all of their members, then put them under arrest, return the former president to power, and go back to Nigeria. Very clean, no fight, no nothing. But in northern Nigeria, who knows better? They are working to prevent that. That was why Sanusi was there. But less than 24 hours after Sanusi returned, the military are going to go to Niamey. But let's first hear from Sanusi.
I can't tell you what I discussed with the president.
We saw you earlier in Niger today. Is that what you discussed with Mr. President ahead of ECOWAS meeting tomorrow, sir?
Yes, I came to brief him on the details of my discussion with the leaders of Niger.
Would you say your intervention was positive, successful?
Interventions are ongoing, and we'll continue to do our best to bring the two parties together to improve understanding. This is a time for public diplomacy. It's not a matter that we leave to governments. All Nigerians, all Nigerians need to be involved to find a solution that works for Africa, a solution that works for Niger, that works for Nigeria, and a solution that works for humanity.
There also reports that you took this initiative by yourself and you're not the government delegation.
No, I'm not the government.
Okay.
I was not sent by the government.
Okay.
The government officials were aware I was going, but it was my personal initiative using my personal contacts to get there, and I will continue to do my best. It is my duty as a leader to do that.
That was the former emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. Remember, this northern elite, a lot of them, they didn't stash their own loot abroad. They actually went to Niger Republic and invested there. Do you understand? Like refineries, like real estate and all of that to kind of, So if Niger goes up in smoke, a lot of them have a lot of stake there. And that's just the material part of it. A lot of them actually have real blood relationship with a lot of them as well in Niger, from Nigeria to Niger. So yes, there are much interest in all of this. Everybody knows what is going on. And they also know that at the end of the day, where two elephants fight. Now the grass will suffer. The civilians in these areas, not just in Niger, including in Nigeria. Nigeria currently have 7 states that borders Niger Republic. And you see this whole axis, they have been like occupied by all kinds of terrorists. And the civilian population have always been the most victims. So from the initial reports, it is not confirmed at the time, but it has now been confirmed that there was this dark operation that took place in Niger Republic, where some maximum prison was attacked, and terrorists who were in custody in Niger have been released. Their details and data have not really been released, but the attack on this facility has been confirmed to have taken place. The only other thing is that the denier, the Nigerian junta, they said France violated their no-fly zone order, and they flew into their country to break into that place, but France denied. No, we didn't do that. You are just hallucinating. Nobody came to your country to break anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, that's already happened. This was yesterday. So which simply means that, you see, all of these guys who are like in different camp of, who is going to pay them for what? They will walk in this war that will eventually rattle not just Niger, but Nigeria too. Once it's not going to be a clean. Do you think they're just going to walk into, just drive into, like 6 hours, drive from Nigeria, Sokoto to Niamey, all the soldiers, all the convoy, and the Air Force, they will be flying over them. Just like that, they will just go in there like, and then they will pick all these guys, and then they will just leave. You don't think that's how it's going to be, or do you? Of course, Nigeria has a lot to do that. And with the support of their West allies, Abi. But do you think that's actually how it's going to be? Now, without considering the civilian casualties, without any provision for what will be the fate of those who are going to be caught up within the crossfire, what about Nigerians who are living and doing businesses in Niger Republic? What's the plan of the government for them? Like, all those stuff that you would think should be part of if you are invading a country, you're automatically making your own citizens who are in that country an easy target, right? When this whole thing goes down, right? Then they will go after Nigerians and their businesses in Niger if they have not started going after them already, right? So what is the provision for them? None of this is being mentioned. The clear thing is we're just going to go in clinically. We're going to remove these guys and we're going to return that guy to power and everything is going to be fine. Period. Has it ever been that easy? Even when you watch movies, Extraction, where these guys are trained to extract people and all of that, you still realizes that it's not clinical without its own his own risk. So who is going to bear this risk? What about the lives of those soldiers who are currently being mobilized for this? Somebody said, I have stopped going to the gym. Sure, you get, I've stopped going to the gym because by the time they send 8,000 and they kill them in Niger, they send another 8,000 and they kill them in Niger, and they have no soldiers to send anymore. They will begin to call on the NSCDC. When they pick on those civil defense, if they are not enough, they will pick on Asari people, 300 militants, take them there. If they finish the 300 militants, they feed the entire gym. They look for people who get Mozu. So, as the thing they go now, it better may, visit the gym again and something like that. Is a joke, right? But it's going to, things gets out of hand. When your country is not even explaining it to you, what is this going to be for Nigeria and Nigerians? I mean, so, Kalu in Abuja today, in a speech that I believe was written for him, that doesn't have a tail or a head, and in it as well, immediately finished reading the jargons. He was talking about diplomatic this, then talking about military incursion. Like, how does the two of them, how do the two of them actually exist in the same sentence or in the same speech? Like, why would you are fighting legitimacy in your country, right? You should be doing so much to show to them that even those who are rejecting you already, who've rejected you, right? You should be doing something that they will be like, Elmo, you are doing too much. We don't want you. But you are making life hell for them. So I don't understand. But anyway, let's listen to that from what is said at the ECOWAS.
That address will bring the opening ceremony to a close. The authority will continue its deliberations in a closed-door format. The formula is 1+3, in addition to the excellencies, the invited guests of the chair of the authority. Without further ado, therefore, it is my pleasure and honor to give the floor to His Excellency, the chair of the authority. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, Head of State and Government, Your Excellencies, President, Leader and former President, General Abdul Salam Abubakar, my friend, my brother, Babagana Kengibe, and His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto. distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are very much welcome to this second extraordinary summit on the social political situation in the Republic of Niger. I don't need to go back to the history and discussions that led us to this far. I want to thank my colleague and head of state, some of them are in vacation. They canceled their vacation to respond to this invitation this morning. And they have kept faith with us, with democracy, freedom, and economic development, not only of ECOWAS region, but the African continent as a whole. Today we gather with profound sense of urgency and firm determination, building upon the commitment made during our first extraordinary summit on the grave political crisis befalling our sister nation. During that initial meeting, we voiced our solidarity with the people of Niger and their democratically elected president, His Excellency Mohamed Bazoum, by condemning the military takeover and the unjust detention of their democratically elected president and other officials. As you may recall, we called the junta to rescind the decision of them toppling a democratically elected government. We proceeded to impose sanctions with the hope that this resolute measure will serve as a catalyst for the restoration of the constitutional order in Niger. Regrettably, the 7-day ultimatum we issued during the first summit has not yielded the desired outcome. We have also made diligent effort through the deployment of various ECOWAS mediation teams. I'm glad Abdul Salam Abubakar is here. His Eminence is here. Baba Konogingibe is here to give you the report and their observation during the intervention. I must, on behalf of every one of you, show gratitude to them, patriotism and dedication, sealed for which they have responded to the assignment to intervene and bring peace, stability back to Niger. They have feasted Libya, Algeria, and they were received by leaders there. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, following the resolution of our previous extraordinary summit to initiate a meeting of ECOWAS Chief of Defense Staff, the meeting of the Chief of Defense Staffs was duly held from 2nd to 4th of August 2023. The outcome of that meeting, as well as a memorandum by the President of the ECOWAS Commission on current social political development,
Okay, sorry about the audio. It can be boring, but it's about what he said that we actually want to keep on record. All right. I'm sorry to those of you who are watching it live. You know, when we are watching a replay, you can fast forward that part and listen more, right? But we need to show that. So that was called getting into the parts where they are going to now say, okay, yeah, the military should. They call them standby military. And they're going to go in. So we're going to get to that part, okay? Here is the other part, by the way. A quick one. It won't take much of your time.
More so, in reaffirming our relentless commitment to democracy, human rights, and the well-being of the people of Niger, it is crucial that we prioritize diplomatic negotiations and dialogue as the bedrock of our approach. We did. And we still look to engage the party involved, including the coup leaders, in honest discussion to convince them to relinquish power as suggested and reinstate President Bazoum. It is our duty to exhaust all avenues of engagement to ensure a swift return to constitutional governance in Niger. More specifically, as leaders of our respective nations, we must recognize that the political crisis in Niger not only poses a threat to the stability of the nations, but also has far-reaching implications for the entire West African region. By remaining steadfast in our adherence to the principle of democracy, good governance, and the rule of law, we can restore peace, stability, and prosperity in the Republic of Niger, thereby fostering an environment conducive for growth and development for all. Esteemed Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident that the second ECOWAS Extraordinary Summit today on the socio-political situation in Niger will be a defining moment in our journey towards a stronger, more resilient, and integrated West Africa. Let us seize this opportunity to make a lasting impact on the lives of our fellow Africans. Who else can do it except us? We must resolve to do it ourselves, and we are the only one. I extend my gratitude to each of you for your attention to this critical issue. I trust that our deliberation will be productive and fruitful.
Let's take that out. So that was Stephen Mbuse's speech, not the whole one, but nearly the whole speech anyway. And after their deliberation, here is the announcement, ladies and gentlemen.
Direct the Committee of the Chief of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements immediately. Order the deployment of the ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. Underscore its continued commitment to the restoration of constitutional order through peaceful means. direct the committee.
That is the official resolution of ECOWAS today. The deployment of the military incursion or invasion of Niger Republic. Kalu was talking about the economy, the prosperity, and blah, blah, blah of our brothers in Niger Republic, but it's actually no plan for anybody. They're going to be casualties of war that has now been declared. Did you see the Abdul Salami and the rest of on seat as well? Of course, they said they brought a report. Which report? Nobody saw them. Nobody met them. So which report are you talking about? Anyway, Tifnumbu has breached the Nigeria 1999 tissue paper constitution. And just like they breached it in rigging him to be your president, now the legal, illegitimate president of Nigeria is doing what he is expected to do best. Continue to trample on your constitution. Who is now talking about law here? Like, do you really have law? Okay, the laws are for, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, like I told you, I don't understand French, but I understand what this guy is saying, as they themselves are getting ready for the war in Niger Republic. Is it going to last for a few hours, few days, or maybe just few weeks? No, it's going to last for a few hours. Abi? Listen.
Communiqué numéro 25. Le Conseil national pour la sauvegarde de la patrie tient à informer l'opinion nationale et internationale des événements d'une extrême gravité qui sont en cours au Niger, du fait du comportement des forces françaises sur notre territoire et de leurs complices. En effet, ce jour 9 août 2023, aux environs de 6h30 du matin, la position de la garde nationale du Niger de Bourkou-Bourkou, 30 km du site aurifère de Samira, a fait l'objet d'une attaque. À cet instant, le bilan n'est pas encore établi. Toutefois, pour rappel, à travers une communication directe avec les partenaires occidentaux, le comportement des forces françaises a été fustigé pour avoir, d'une façon unilatérale, libéré des éléments terroristes prisonniers. Ces derniers ont été regroupés dans une vallée du village de Fitili, 28 km nord-ouest de Yatakala, où une réunion de planification s'est tenue dans l'objectif d'attaquer des positions militaires dans la zone des 3 frontières. Ces chefs d'éléments terroristes libérés, au nombre de 16, ont été appréhendés dans 3 opérations, dont 2 en territoire nigérien. Le 15 juin 2023, à Yessi, 38 km de Bankilare, ayant conduit à l'arrestation de 3 terroristes. Le 16 juin 2023, à Makarma, ayant conduit à l'arrestation de 5 terroristes. Le 7 juillet 2023, à Tin Atissan, 15 km ouest Urura, 45 km nord-ouest Ayerou, en territoire malien, ayant conduit à l'arrestation de 9 terroristes. Toujours dans leur volonté manifeste de déstabilisation, ces forces françaises ont fait décoller ce jour 9 août 2023 un avion militaire de type A400M de N'Djamena à 6h01 locale. Cet aéronef a volontairement coupé tout contact avec le contrôle aérien à l'entrée de notre espace de 6h39 à 11h15 locale. Ces actes ci-dessus énumérés nous confortent dans notre analyse de la situation. Mais au-delà, depuis la prise du pouvoir par le CNSP et dans le souci d'une nouvelle approche sécuritaire, nous assistons à un véritable plan de déstabilisation de notre pays. Ces désordres sécuritaires planifiés par ces forces françaises, comme ce fut le cas au Mali et au Burkina Faso, a pour but de discréditer le CNSP et créer une rupture avec le peuple qui le soutient dans son action, de créer un sentiment d'insécurité généralisé en tout état de cause. Le CNSP et les forces de défense et de sécurité rassurent le peuple nigérien quant à leur détermination à assurer la sécurité des personnes et des biens et défendre l'intégrité du territoire. À cet effet, le président du CNSP, chef de l'État, chef suprême des armées, a ordonné les mesures suivantes. Au FDS, relever leur niveau d'alerte sur l'ensemble du territoire national. Au peuple de rester mobilisé et vigilant. Aux autorités compétentes de saisir les juridictions et instances internationales de la question.
Did you get that? I'll give you the layman interpretation. It was practically calling on their citizens that this their liberation from France is a fight to finish, no going back on it. People should come out themselves and defend the republic and defend the revolution. It is no longer coup. It is now a revolution. Look at our brothers from Burkina Faso, Mali, and other places who are already coming around to defend Niger Republic. As for the terrorists up north, talking about those guys, the rebels that said that they were going to remove them. As for the terrorists up north, right, we will use everything, right, to crush them, no matter how much they are back in France. If you don't understand what I mean, if you don't believe that that's the interpretation, right, fine. I've told you, never. You are not here to agree with me on everything, okay? But we all have to improve on our French. That's my own Esperado, Copre, like a language, you know, that's my own interpretation, like on that. So you will need to improve on yours, or talk to that your nephew that is doing French or studying French. He or she, I mean, they'll probably do better than me. However, the people that are Tifnumbu was talking about trying to save from these guys, where every day to them, from what we heard, is more or less like this, kind of. The bot. The bot there is that to others, these are just show off to show to the world as if to say they were accepted. That no, that the people in Niger are scared. They are currently hiding in their houses. They don't know what they are waiting for ECOWAS to come and save them. Sure, you get that? They said, oh, those ones are no, that's not true, Jerry. The one that all those ones are just propaganda. So you don't believe that that is how it in the way they are being welcomed and supported, Abi. So if they give you gun now, you go Niger Republic, Abi, to go and help them. The people where you won't go help, if they give you gun right now, you go Niger. Abi, because it's propaganda, Abi. And I think that is exactly what Asari Dokupik, Dokubo. Why did I say Dokupik? I read it somewhere. People are so kind of mean sometimes, right? So they call Asari Dokupik instead of Dokubo. And I don't know, that just got stuck like, but it's not right. Don't say that out there, okay? So Asari Dokubo said, all these all these things that you are reading everywhere about Niger, they don't make any sense. If Tinubu wants them, need their help, Tinubu should call him and let him go. He and his 300 boys will go into Niger, and they will remove these guys. All this video, all this in a nonsense. He said it all. Then he later explained it as well, meaning that, listen, if you go to South Africa, you will see private military companies. You know that? Yeah. If you go to some of this part of the world, right, there are private military for hire. Yeah, there are private military for hire. You pay them, your war is their war. If you say you are fighting your brother, and it don't lead to war, you want them to help you wipe out all your brother's lineage and everything. That moment, your brother don't become their enemy. So they will do the job. Do you understand that? Like mercenaries and all that, but they're like private companies. They work not just fighting wars or all that, they protect high-profile personalities. Here you get like people who believe that the police can protect them, their soldiers can protect them, so they will hire them. Kind of. So Asari Dokubo is trying to say that as an ex-militant, he also has a company in Nigeria with men trained like South African mercenaries, like Russian mercenaries, like Wagner that you are talking about. Forget Wagner. Like American mercenary. Any mercenary you see anywhere, the standard you see anywhere is the same standard that Asari said he has. And he, with 300 men, you know that movie 300, 300 men defending. Yeah, okay. Asari said he will walk straight into Niger Republic and he will come back victorious. He's not IO, and I don't think he's drunk. Asari was trying to explain to us that in that Nigeria they've converted militant to private military. You are seeing them as militant; they are private military. What happened? If all of you are laughing, are you not kind of paying attention to the level of armory that he also kind of controls that Nigeria possibly know of? I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm thinking too much. Here is Asari on Niger.
The government commissioned me and my people to go to Niger Republic. We'll go, we'll defeat them, and we'll come back victorious. It's not a boast. If the government commissioned us to go, if Benin Republic like, let them go and bring anybody. They are human beings, wicked men, or lotu. They are human beings like us. We'll go there, we'll defeat them, and we'll come back victorious, and we'll restore democratic order in Benin Republic. The government commission.
That's the part that people felt like maybe it was I. And Kolu, the Pablo Escobar, it's all this powder and all of them, they probably will be kind of much available than before, especially to those who want them like badly. And in those who are not probably interested in them as well, they could make them interested, right? Because which one is Benin Republic? Now, Benin Republic, they're going to invade, or Niger? Well, that's the confusion. And that's why some people were like, it don't mentor, it don't colos, on colos. I'll be waiting to record that one. On colos. So he went on to explain that if they commission him, I'll show you that one. Don't say it's boring, okay? It's just Asari being Asari.
Not win the election. That Asiwaju did not even appear on the ballot. And in turn, they allowed him to rig the election. If Asiwaju rigged the election, he will be arresting the EFCC chairman. He will be arresting the governor of Central Bank. If he rigged the election, if the power that be rigged the election for him, they orchestrated the rigging in Lagos and Abuja, everywhere, to prevent Asiwaju from winning. But at the end of the day, he won. He won. And this is the last kick. Because Asiwaju victory had changed Nigeria. So let me not digress because of unnecessary comments. So ideologically, the neo-colonial stranglehold of France must end in Africa. Francophone African countries must free themselves from France. But it must be done democratically. When I talk now, I will start the threatening or come. No problem. It must be done through democratic means. Because nobody can just stand up, take the gun, go and take power, and proclaim himself a president, proclaim himself head of state. What right does he have more right than me that he will go and take power forcefully without the consent of the people? That's what we are talking about. That's what we are talking about. It is wrong, it is morally wrong for anybody to do so. And they will fail. It's just sloganeering and rhetoric. Let us wait and see. When we see them, at the end of the day, they will look at how Rawlings ended in Ghana. What improvement did Rawlings bring to Ghana? What improvement? Send the IPO become now. You say follow them, come so that you will receive. Or shall you know, we follow them, come so that you will receive. You will go inside your grave. It's as simple as that. So that is it on the issue of ECOWAS. If the Nigerian government commission us, when ECOWAS had decided to go, this Nigerian government has decided commission us, when ECOWAS is ready, we will proceed. And like I said, we will bring victory. There is no two ways about it. We are going to come with victory.
So that's Asari putting himself in the frame of those who are like Jagaban Army. You know, we were once talking about taking the Jagaban Army. They've got Jagaban Army, the Jagabandits. You could take them to Niger. So many of them are on Mayegun's diary political. If you go on my Facebook, you'll see some of them there right now. It is time for you to rise up and do the bidding of your Kolu. They're going to need a lot of you, of course. A lot of you will show up anyway, but yeah. Asari should be sent to join the ECOWAS army to Niger. Asari doesn't, probably Asari is looking for somebody to mobilize and pay him. But if he's patriotic enough, he should know that he will be paid. He should mobilize his guys and yeah, I mean, but it's pretty much just for attention anyway, okay? Or maybe not. Because things can get that bad that the likes of Asari and the rest of them will get a contract to go and do terrorism in Niger just to further, like, isolate and destroy the country, which is going to be the actions that you will be seeing in the coming days. So yeah, when Kolu, put it this way, when Kolu violates the constitution of Nigeria like this, I mean, I don't think it has ever happened before for any leader in Nigeria to send Nigerian army to war after the Senate rejects him. I don't think it has happened before, right? Is this the new law that Nigeria has kind of, fallen or sunk into, Abi? It's going to get worse. And this is just the beginning. It's going to be the beginning of so many things that you look back and be like, wow. So somebody now felt like Tifnumbu that is taking Nigeria to war, unapproved by Nigerians, rejected by Nigerians. How desperate can it be? Especially if the court removes him. Somebody said, nothing go happen. Heaven no go fall. Nothing go happen if the court removed him. Removes him. I'm like, okay. But on this Niger, listen to this.
Let us flash back to the history, but to scramble to Africa, 1884. France was among the largest countries.
That's the Treaty of Westphalia.
Yes, please, where they came and colonized massive part of the continent, especially the central part of the continent and the western part of the continent. France had committed unspeakable crimes, perpetrated inhuman atrocities against those nations. Economical, social, political, security, justice, so on and so forth. But by 1960, France claimed that, gave independence to those countries. Actually, it was just on a paper. In reality, France is still fully on control of those countries in their decisions, in their economy, in their military, in their resources. Let us bring concrete evidences. Those countries in French-speaking countries or Francophone countries in West Africa, all of them, they are compelled to use French currency. Likewise in Central Africa, about 5 of them or 6 of them compelled to use French currency. And the foreign reserve of those countries kept in French central bank.
So it wasn't a matter of choice?
No. And then annually they are paying to French coffers so-called colonial price for France to come and colonize Africa, to loot their resources, to destroy their lands, and now those countries are paying back annually to France for destroying their lands. And this is a point of no discussion. Any African president from those countries dare to think about to reschedule or whatsoever, definitely that will be the end of that president. So in Africa, we had about more than 115 military coups. More than 90% of them are in French-speaking countries. Let me say all of those countries, with the exception of Senegal, only the remaining either military, several military coups have occurred, or civil unrest, or civil wars, genocides happen in all of those countries, with the exception of Senegal.
Are there evidence pointing to this?
No doubt about it. Just point me a country out of them. Point for me any country. Those French speaking. I will tell you what French intelligence service had perpetrated of crimes in Rwanda, in Central Africa, in Congo, in DRC, in Chad, in Niger, in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Cameroon, in Togo. Togo, that little tiny country. The first coup in sub-Saharan Africa was in Togo, 1963. So it was brutal, and the president by then was killed brutally. Most of those coups were carried out by France. When the president want to negotiate, definitely they will end up with bloody coups. And most were orchestrated in Paris and ordered those agents of France in Africa to perpetrate.
I hope that tells it better. So you can say that the agents of the West, in which Nigeria is now conspicuously dragged into because of a compromised president that you have. So they are restoring democracy for the people that don't give a damn about any democracy in any part of Africa. They don't give a damn about it. It's just a cover, a facade. Right? So, what will happen if the courts remove Tifnumbu? Remember, all of us somehow have taken side on this. So, there are some who are still like, they are not sure. Me, I'm on the side that the only shock that will shock me, that will make me open my mouth and say, oh, what? Is when the court removed Tifnumbu. That's the only shock, which I know okay, I shouldn't even say I know, which I believe, I'll use I believe, will never happen. You know, that's my own side. There are some of you who believe that. So if it doesn't happen, then what's going to be the excuse? With all of this, all of this, all of this, all of this. I said, well, I'm on your side on that, all of this, all of that, evidence. But none of them really matter to these rogues, the establishment that's going to say there is no evidence. That's the shock that some of you will see. A lot of you will be shocked, like, how could the tribunal reject? How could the tribunal legitimize him? This is nonsense. The same way some of you are shocked with the abracadabra of INEC, and you are still wondering, how could they let this happen? How did this even happen? Like, why would they, you know what I mean, right? But for people like us, we know they too shock anymore. You know, even they shock us. Sure, you get. So you may be shocked. Breaking news. The Court of Tribunal thrown out Peter Obi's petition, Atifu's petition for lack of merit. You know how you are going to be enraged? Me, I'm not going to be angry. Why should I? Shock. Nigeria shocked me. Again, okay, I have a choice on waiting to shock me now. So you don't get to shock, to let Nigeria shock you. Unprepared. So like I said, a lot of us have taken that, sure you get. But what's going to happen if the court removes him? Will the heaven fall? All of us go evaporate? Nigeria go break? Like, what do you think will happen if the court says, so yeah, remove him? Because as it is going right now, there is nothing that can remove Kolu except Asarailu. You know Mr. Asarailu, Abi? The one that can take any, whether you are young or you are old, whether you are sick or you are healthy and all, healthy and all that, it doesn't matter. Mr. Asarailu takes every one of us just whenever we believe it is our time, you know, that kind of thing. That's the only thing that can take Kolu. Based on my own experience with Nigeria and you, like I said, we have the right to agree to disagree. I mean, disagree to agree, Denny. You get what I'm trying to say, right? But what's going to happen if the court says, so yeah, remove him? Are we going to disappear? This guy seems to have something. And in fact, it's actually a stretch of press conference asking that all eyes on you, judiciary. The military are saying all eyes on judiciary. Can you believe that? In Nigeria right now, soldiers are saying all eyes on judiciary. Police are saying all eyes on judiciary. Students are saying all eyes on judiciary. Workers are saying all eyes on judiciary. Even those who are kind of into hookup. Because no patronage from anywhere. Everybody's feeling the brunt. APC, Egbekegbe are saying all eyes on judiciary. You won't believe that, Abi. You don't believe that. I'm telling you. The shege is kind of widespread